Don't leave me hanging. It's go time.
Hey everybody, this is Josh and welcome to another fantastic game of StarCraft 2. This one is being played between VT Pokebunny. He's the blue Terran over here on the right side of Shattered Temple, and his opponent, once again, is Dignitas Naniwa, playing as Dignitas Nani instead of Naniwa. But either way, he is the pink Protoss over here on the left side spawn. So we do have cross positions. Shattered Temple, MLG, of course it is impossible to get close position, so it was either going to be cross or close flying positions. Just happened to get cross, you know, coin flip positions here. And it's game 2 in a best of 3 series being played for MLG Dallas 2011. Right now, Pokebunny has some work to do. He's sort of a game behind right now if you watch that first game, and I hope you did because it was pretty friggin' cool. I actually had not seen these replays before, and it was a bit of a surprise there what happened in game 1, but Pokebunny looks like he is going to do his very conservative Terran build once again, get that supply depot just tucked right into the base in case Naniwa goes super aggressive mode. That way he can just lift his depot and hide behind it with his SCVs and Marines if it comes to that. I like SimCity. You see it a lot more in Warcraft 3 than you do in StarCraft 2, but I feel like SimCitying your base could be, you know, just one aspect of this game that people haven't really taken a ton of consideration into just yet. You will see players like TLO and KiwiKaki sometimes. They'll SimCity their bases to make defending their mineral lines extremely easy. Sometimes you have to sort of build a certain way to defend against things like 6 pools, but players don't do it typically. The only real constant that we see is walling off against Zerg. Protoss and Terran both do it in different ways, but walling off against Zerg is basically accepted to be a must-do even at these very high levels of play. Because, I mean, if you do something silly and build some barracks like way back in your base and your Zerg opponent does happen to get some Zerglings up there, it can be very hard to combat from the inside. What's Naniwa doing? What are you dropping? Cybernetics Core? Okay, very standard Protoss build. I'll accept it. Pokebunny just doing the very standard Terran build this time. No proxy gates in his base, but how could Pokebunny know that? He did not actually send an SCV all the way around the perimeter of his base. He could have easily been proxy gated and not even known it. So Pokebunny is going to go ahead and start scouting now with his SCV. I think this is the shortest possible path to the close flying position, so he is going to go take a look over there first and then discover that Naniwa is at these cross positions. Will he actually go into the base though and risk losing his scouting SCV to see what Naniwa is up to? Naniwa could have a stalker already completed by the time Pokebunny's scouting SCV gets there. Second gateway is up. Pylon cutting that warp in and run distance pretty lengthily, pretty heavily, I guess you would say, cutting that distance quite a lot if he warps in on the low ground instead of just, you know, warping them in up in his main and running down the ramp and all that sort of stuff. Pokebunny is actually going to get a look inside the base, see the 2 gateways, see the number of probes, see the number of gas. All that is very important to these high-level gamers. They want to see absolutely all the information they can get. First sentry is going to be done here for Naniwa soon, so that force field barricade will prevent Pokebunny from getting out potentially, or it could prevent any further scouting. Let's see, Naniwa is probably going to be able to use that tickle beam from the sentry to finish off that SCV, and there he goes. Ooh, command center coming up very quickly from Pokebunny after getting up only a single barracks with a reactor, so lots and lots of Marines for Mr. Pokebunny while getting his command center going. Naniwa already has a pylon warping in here at the high yield area. Pokebunny does not know about it, and why should he? He hasn't actually gone over there yet, but this pylon placement's kind of interesting. I feel like it would have been more fun to put it right here, so you could warp in back here, or on this side, or up here. Maybe even like just next to this tree, so you have like multiple options. But this is just a little bit more conservative one. You can warp in here, run around this little, I don't know, cliff here with these couple of stalkers and try and do some damage. Pokebunny does have a solid number of Marines here, 7 Marines, and you do need a lot of units actually to fight against Protoss here in the early game because their units are just so strong. Naniwa is actually expanding right now, his natural as well. Interesting stuff there. Ooh, and I think an SCV or a Marine was just taken out there by these 2 stalkers. They're going to poke up the ramp and say, oh no, there's a lot of Marines there, but a single sentry is here. He does have enough for Guardian Shield if he does choose to actually force his way up the ramp. Pokebunny has 3 barracks completed now, 2 of them with tech labs, so Marauders could be coming up here soon. Stim is already researching instead of concussive shells, which I think is interesting, but Stim should help quite a lot if he's still alive by the time it finishes. And of course, Terran cannot force field their ramp, so Naniwa just runs right up here. These Zealots trying to get their best Psyblades onto those Marines. Guardian Shield does go up. Gotta love seeing that. That cuts the DPS by this low number of Marines by quite a lot. And now suddenly Naniwa looking very, very good here against Pokebunny's Marauder and 2 Marines. Naniwa does some good micro. Stalkers are just so fast they can be hard to catch without those concussive shells, and Stim is only about 60% done. Lots of SCVs being pulled off the line. Naniwa warps in 2 more Zealots down on the low ground and runs up. I don't think he still has a probe there anymore. No, the probe is gone, so he's going to have to rely on just that pylon. This command center is done. It's actually an orbital command now, and he's not going to be able to really do anything with it, though. Naniwa getting those Zealots up in the front, of course, a great decision. Stimpack still not finished. More SCVs being killed off here. Looks like he does want to focus those Marauders and then the SCVs. And he's got 4 Stalkers still in pretty good health. I don't think he wants to continue this attack, though, because now those Marauders stand up pretty well against Stalkers. And Stim will be done here soon, but Naniwa just going to continue his pressure. He's got 6 Stalkers now. His Nexus is up. Back at home, he has a robotics facility done as well. No additional gateways. He is on 2 gas now, though, soon to be 3. It looks like that assimilator did just finish at his natural. But if we look at army value, Naniwa's way ahead. If we look at harvester count, Naniwa's way ahead. So the fact that he didn't just outright kill Pokebunny doesn't really matter when you've got a harvester and army advantage afterwards. And this orbital command is done. He could actually drop a mule here soon, or just float it down to that low ground, maybe build another bunker here at this choke. But we'll see what he ends up doing. This pylon here for Naniwa still going to come in handy if he does ever return here shortly. Robotics Bay coming up, so it looks like 2-gate Colossi going to be Naniwa's build order choice. That's pretty interesting against Terran. I don't see that very much. Now we see 2 more gateways coming along. 4-gate Colossi makes much more sense to me. I was going to ask if potentially he would get another robotics facility. 2 robos and 2 gateways would be kind of cool. Can you just crank out those Colossi, since Pokebunny hasn't done anything except infantry up to this point? It'd be pretty nice to have a lot of Colossi. But now the starport is starting to come up. There's a reactor here coming on this factory, so that makes me think reactor Vikings are going to be showing up here soon for Pokebunny to try and combat against those Colossi. What does Pokebunny know about Naniwa? Let's take a look over here. I'm not sure what he scanned or scouted with, but he doesn't know about the Colossi. He doesn't know about the 2 gateways. He does know about this expansion, so he should know that he is being totally out-macroed right now. 51 to 31 harvesters. This observer from Naniwa going to take a look at everything that Pokebunny's doing. Going to see those 3 racks, factory with the reactor, and that starport completing it. They have not flipped positions. Now they do. So Vikings should be showing up here soon. SCV, get out of there. Build that engineering bay. Get some turrets up. This pylon here just chilling for Naniwa, just hanging out, waiting for its time to become useful once again, probably after 2 Colossi. I'll guess 2 Colossi. Could just be 1 before Naniwa starts to move again. Another pylon there. Thought it might have been some sneaky tech. Actually just a pylon. Lots and lots of Marines and Marauders. They do have Stim. The engineering bay will be done here in a moment, so he could get +1 weapon upgrades. He might actually want to get +1 armor or something. Get some sort of upgrade as soon as possible. He's going to get a turret up. Those Dark Templar in the last game really kind of screwed him up a little bit, so I'm glad to see that he's learning and adapting a little bit to his opponent, getting that turret up very quickly at his natural. Destructible rocks being focused down by Naniwa. He is using all these tickle lasers and the Zealot Psyblades to try and kill some poor defenseless rocks. Soon he will get that out of the way and just drop a Nexus. Here comes the first Colossus already done. More Stalkers hanging out at the natural just in case. Looks like all the units from the middle at that Zelnaga Tower have been pulled back to join forces with Colossus number 2. And he should be moving here soon, I believe. Pokebunny discovers this pylon but doesn't just outright kill it. He does have 2 medevacs loaded up. Pokebunny is very, very fond of these drops. I'm just going to look at APM, just glance at it for a second. Naniwa average 190, Pokebunny average 157. Okay, noted. I was just curious because Pokebunny, once again, is 15 years old and he's already getting sent to events like MLG to play and stuff for VT Gaming, so I think that's pretty cool stuff. Colossi, 2 Colossi coming in here. Do they have their extended thermal lances? I actually can't tell right now. Let's take a look. Yes, they do. It looked like he went in a little further than he needed to for some reason, but either way, he does have quite a lot of ground support here for these extended thermal Colossi. And medevac overhead, not going to be enough to heal up these Marauders fast enough for 2 Colossi with Guardian Shields. Wow, okay, Pokebunny just GG's. He's got, where does 2 medevacs full of units go? Oh, they're around here on the bottom side of the map, or one of them is, but he just instantly taps out. That was interesting. You can at least wait for your front lines to be dead. Okay, they're kind of dead. But man, that was really, really quick GG timing. That was almost Idra-like, except Pokebunny actually said GG. But that was a cool little best-of-3 series, I think. Just going into these replays without having actually seen any of the action, I was curious to see how well Pokebunny stood up against Naniwa, and now we know. But Naniwa is pretty much a beast. Pokebunny tried really hard in that first game. Second game kind of didn't go his way from a very early point. So, you know, good play by both players. Now I'm going to be casting a ton of other replays from MLG Dallas, so stick around if you want to see some more of those. I know some other casters have been keeping up with that a little bit better. I did just get home from the Root Gaming House yesterday, so I promise I will make it up with lots and lots of replays. Thanks for watching. Once again, I'm AskJoshy, back from a long hiatus. Can't wait to start casting and producing some other content. I've got some other ideas in line as well with some live streaming stuff, so I hope you guys will enjoy that as well. Maybe come join me and watch NASL starting tonight. I'll give you a little bit more information on that a little bit later. But thanks for watching once again. Hope you'll stick around. See you guys very, very soon.